Hi, I'm Kirk Jowers with another episode of Ask doTERRA, and today I'm particularly excited because we have the star running back from the New Orleans Saints, Tim Hightower, who's visiting us here at doTERRA headquarters. Tim, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Tim and his amazing wife, Ricky, who introduced him to the oils, and his mom are here for the day. You've had some time at the doTERRA spa and had some massages with the essential oils. Did that go okay?
Oh man, you guys have rolled out the red carpet. We definitely feel at home. Yeah.
Well, we're so grateful you're here, and your story is amazing on so many fronts. For those of you who haven't followed Tim's career, he started at the University of Richmond, great football player there. Started out as a freshman getting some carries, and by the time he finished, set season records there, first team all-conference, and then drafted into the NFL. I'm kind of going really fast here, but he, again, just started building and having a lot of success, went to the Super Bowl and played there. Went to a new team and then had a big setback, a setback that has ended the careers of a lot of NFL players, a lot of league players, and running backs in particular. And then you managed to fight your way back, but then had an undiagnosed infection. Can you tell me about the high and the low of that time period?
Yeah, I mean, just what you said, the highs and the lows. From getting drafted, you go from, as a kid, my childhood dream was to play professional football, and to hear my name called on draft day, and it was exciting. The future is promising. Everything looks bright, and then the first year out the gate, you go to the Super Bowl. So here we are. We're right on track. All is well, and then fast forward a couple years, you get traded. So it's kind of bittersweet, but then I get a chance to go back to the Washington Redskins, which is pretty much in my background, in my backyard where I grew up. So, the high school coach and my church family and just the community of the people who really supported me, they're there. So it's a perfect scenario, right? And so much excitement. So, it's finally this, you get that feeling of, hey, this is my time, and this is the time for, to kind of really break through. And the next thing you know, you have a perceived career-ending injury. It was devastating. You go from just that excitement to almost the questions go through your head of, man, is this it? And if it is it, what's next? And so it's just a mix of emotions, and you really can't anticipate, what those emotions would bring, and the question that will circulate through your head as that happens.
You did all the physical therapy. You did the work to repair and become just as strong after your ACL. What set you back then?
You know what? So after the first surgery, I ended up, I felt like I was feeling pretty good. I wasn't quite back up to speed yet, and I went to training camp and ended up being diagnosed with having to get surgery, yet another surgery. I get another surgery, and for whatever reason, my body's just not responding. It's treatment after treatment, session after session, and just not responding. My knee is swelling, and just things wouldn't progress as expected. And at this point, I started traveling around to different therapists and different doctors all over, trying to find an answer. No one really kind of knew. To a year later, finding out that there was an infection in my knee. So getting that out, getting that removed. Started feeling a little bit better, thinking, okay, at least, hey, I missed time, but we found out what's happening, so, I can get back on track. And a couple months later, they find another infection that comes back, so they have to remove that again. And, yeah, man, it just was trial after trial, test after test, but it really kind of built that resolve, and it built that kind of that fortitude in me.
Well, we're so glad that the story ends up well. Through all that adversity, you come back, you play for the New Orleans Saints. This is your second full season with the Saints. Had a phenomenal second year. I was trying to take some credit. We spoke for the first time on FaceTime the week two great things happened. You scored 2 touchdowns against your old team, Arizona. And then you also were given the Ed Block Award, which to me is almost as or more impressive because it's voted on by your teammates for the most inspirational player who exhibits courage and inspiration, and even to hear, your fellow running back say you're the epitome of what Ed Block means, this courage and inspiration. It's an amazing high to low, back to high, and I was kind of impressed when you were talking to some of our founders, and the superhero of the story was actually your wife. Can you tell me about kind of your personal habits and how your wife really helped you hone in on a lifestyle that put you in a position to have this kind of a success story?
Yes, you know what? One thing I learned throughout this process is the people who you surround yourself with, how important they are. How important your support team is, and man, I leaned heavily on my family, my wife, my immediate family, and I remember when I first came to the NFL. I'm the young kid and I have all this energy, and I didn't particularly take care of my body as it comes to nutrition and rest and different things of that nature. I always trained hard. I always worked hard. But I didn't understand the importance of it. I enjoyed my Cheesecake Factory and enjoyed, all the different things that we all love. And she slowly would, send me different articles and share with me the importance of, taking care of your body, getting your rest, certain nutritional benefits. And it didn't really register to me. And I think kind of really when that first injury kind of took place, the sense of urgency kicked up pretty good, and I really became on a mission to do whatever. I was committed to doing whatever it took to get my body back ready to play, and I think that was one of the things that, when she introduced me to doTERRA and just the holistic approach to medicines. At that point, I felt let down by modern medicine. I felt that I entrusted my hands in the care of individuals, and there were no answers. So I was very frustrated. Right. So it kind of led me down a path to look, maybe there's something else out here. If I'm supposed to be working with the best and they have no answers, maybe there are some other answers out here, and that really led us down the approach and the path of just holistic living and taking care of our body and cooking and all the different things and the practices that we've added to our routines now.
I had been following your professional career just because it was interesting to me, and I spent time in Virginia living and knew of what you did at the University of Richmond, and then just kind of watched you. But then I didn't really know that you were into doTERRA until you posted that great Instagram, which had everything I love. It had you and your kids in bed and the doTERRA diffuser going, and I just thought, oh my gosh, this guy's the best. So I was so glad that we were able to get to know you better and to see what a purpose-driven life you lead and family-centered, and then to see your success come with those choices has been amazing. The final thing I wanted to ask you about, because my family and I are actually trying to emulate one thing that you and your family are doing, which is this I Commit 21, and you can find Tim Hightower on Instagram and follow his pursuit of this. But could you tell me a little bit about hashtag I Commit 21?
Hashtag I Commit 21. You know what? This whole process it's really been a lifestyle, a series of lifestyle changes and commitments that, whether it's holistic living, whether it's a commitment to family, faith, it's really been lifestyle choices. And at the beginning of the year, I sat there with my wife and we thought about, hey, how did 2016 go, and what do we want to accomplish in 2017? And for me personally, after looking at my goals, I try to do it, as best of a job as I can as writing things down and keeping track of things. And I looked at, I did accomplish some things in 2016. But there are also some things that I've been saying that I was going to accomplish and do for a long time, and I haven't done it. Why is this happening, right? And I wasn't really frustrated as opposed to being motivated to figure out why and how can I look back in 2017 and say, okay, I finally did accomplish these things that I have been putting on for so long. And then, so when I looked at my wife, I said, man, you know what? If we're dealing with these issues, if we're having these challenges, someone else probably is too.
Right.
So why don't we hold ourselves accountable? Why don't we hold everyone accountable and just kind of use everyone to kind of encourage each other and create healthy habits one step at a time, that when we look back, we can have 12 healthy habits if we just focus on one. Because like sometimes we look at our life and we're like, where do I start?
Right.
We drop the ball here. Our finances are here. Our health is over here. Our marriage is over here. And you try to do everything all at once. But the focus was really, I'm going to attack one thing each month. So for 21 days, the theory is it takes 21 days to build a habit, right? So
Right.
I Commit 21 was all about committing to one habit, doing one thing each day, picking one area and doing that for 21 days and then moving on to the next thing and
Right.
then moving on to the next thing. And then when you look at the end of the year, you've created 12 new habits, right?
Right.
But you've also committed to a better lifestyle, and that's really what it was all about, and to have fun with it and to have accountability with it personally, but also to put myself out there in front of everyone,
Yeah.
and say, hey, if I'm posting for a week and then I don't post for 2 weeks, I want someone to, to reach out and say, hey, what are you doing? We're looking forward to seeing, what's going on, and to also hear how others are accomplishing their goals and their challenges, their issues. I feel like we all can learn from each other. So hashtag I Commit 21. Man, I'm excited about it. There's so many different areas of growth, and when you put yourself out there like that, you people are going to hold you accountable to that. So for me, it was good because I didn't want to repeat some of those same things. So I said, you know what, maybe if I put myself out there, I'm aware of the fact that now I got to be accountable for that, not just to my family, but to the community, because now I got eyes everywhere, So I'm not shying away from that, because I know it's going to bring about change for the better for myself and all those around.
I love it. And February is working on relationships.
Relationships.
And I loved how Ricky jumped in on your Instagram post and said it's not just about your marriage, it's about relationships with your Uber driver or anyone else that you're interacting with, but treating people with love and respect.
Absolutely.
So anyway, by the time you watch this, you'll get to jump in and see what March is, and I hope you'll all watch what the Hightowers are working on next. And like I said, my family and I are going to try to emulate them a little bit and find our own I Commit 21 to do starting in March. But Tim, thank you so much for being at doTERRA today. Thank you for doing an Ask doTERRA segment with us.
Thank you for having me.
And we look forward to being with you on our next episode of Ask doTERRA.